was handing to you all out there. One second. Peace, 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 peace. I'm Rami Salam Mel. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. Man, let's see here. Let me just get my whole setup situated. You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna get into some things real quick, but just want to make sure I got everything situated, and the situation is situated. Oh, that's actually. Let me say this. Let me pin that to the top there. Bam. Actually, no, let me not do that one yet. Let me do it like this. Bomb. I'll do that one. There we go. Peace, 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 peace. I'm Rami Salam Mel. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. How do you say it? Ramadan Mubarak. Man, peace to you if you've been fasting. I forget the appropriate phrase, but I'm participating in Ramadan right now. So to all the Muslim brothers and sisters out there, if you're watching this and you're participating, stay strong. I mean, the sun is down on this side, so I had me a little something, and I'm feeling much better about it. I hope the fast has been helpful for you. For me, I did it a couple years ago, real quick, before we get into the topic of today. I did the fast a couple years ago, really just to test my discipline, and to work on my discipline. And it's been very rewarding, man. Fasting all day, man, it really helps you appreciate a sip of water. You know what I mean? It really helps you appreciate the food that you eat. And it keeps you mindful about what you're putting into your body. But, ooh, I didn't see that. Ooh, yes. We have a topic today, the class. Moorish Science Temple of America, corruption, Moors, and the Supreme Grand Council. Oh my goodness. Rami, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? If you've been following along, let me just get my little papers together. If you've been following along, then you know I've been speaking about the Supreme Grand Council for the Moorish Science Temple of America for quite some time. If you haven't been following along, then let me catch you up to speed. The Moorish Science Temple of America is the organization. It is the vessel, if you will, to help us Moorish Americans specifically, live. You know what I mean? Live freely, do the things that we need to do, be ourselves, be a true nation, uplift ourselves, get our rights. You know what I mean? Get our birthrights back, get our human rights. The Moorish Science Temple, and also, you know, it has a spiritual side, teaching you about Allah and about Islam and about, you know, all sorts of things. But the organization is a vessel. It is, you know, a framework. It is a way for us to do things. Currently, our organization isn't operating, the vessel isn't carrying us to the destination like it's supposed to. Why? Because of corruption. Because of Moors, specifically Moorish Americans, within the organization that are not following the laws and the guidelines and the teachings of Noble Drew Ali. Specifically, you know, and you can go many different ways with that, but specifically, I've been speaking on the Supreme Grand Council. Why? Because it is one of the most important integral pieces to our organization. If you would liken it to a car, it would be like the engine. If you're missing the engine in your car, you're not driving anywhere. It may look nice on the out. You may got you a Bugatti, a Bentley. You may got you that Maybach. You may whatever. But if you ain't got the engine in it, it's just, you know what I mean? Nice little piece of metal, but it ain't really doing nothing. And that is where I started to realize our organization is that we have been extremely stagnant and unproductive and ineffective as Moorish Americans, as the Moorish Science Temple of America. And I seek to find solutions to get understanding, how do we get this thing going? Noble Drew Ali already laid it out for us. He developed this Supreme Grand Council. This was this group within the organization that was responsible, it had the duty and the obligation to control and supervise everything about the organization. So anything that has to do with Moorish Science Temple of America, the Supreme Grand Council had the duty and the obligation to control and supervise all of those affairs, everything. Currently, from my investigation, and this is dating back to 2015-ish, we didn't have a operating and fully functioning Supreme Grand Council way back in 2015. But back then I said, well, I don't want to just toss that accusation out there. Maybe I'm misinformed. Maybe I don't have all the information. So I started asking people. I was asking the Moors that I was working with, and I'm gonna do this. I'm working my best to do this without putting people on blast. But I was working with certain individuals that have been in the movement almost 10 years at that time. They didn't have an answer. I said, oh, that's kind of strange. So then I asked this other person. They didn't have it. And I got online. It was a conference call with a bunch of different Grand Sheiks on the call. I put the question on the table for all of them. None of them had the answer. I said, okay, this ain't right. I need to focus in on this. So I kept focusing. That's when I really had a firm understanding, oh, nobody wants to address this because it's embarrassing. The people at the top, the people with the titles, Grand Sheik, Grand Governor, Chairman, Supreme Sheik, I'm missing a couple more, but different sort of Moorish titles. It's embarrassing to realize, oh man, they've been talking about following the laws of Noble Drew Ali and this, that, and the third, and they ain't right. They themselves are not following the law. But the fact is, man, ain't nobody perfect. We all working and striving to better ourselves. And if you can't take accountability and responsibility and admit when you make a mistake, admit, you know what? We wasn't on point with this. If you can't do that, you don't deserve to be in any sort of leadership position. Because your actions then reflect on the rest of the organization. When these people at the top, when you see them and none of them are taking responsibility, then the members follow suit. Well, hey, none of us going to take responsibility. And thus, we are in this position, this space that we are in. Fast forward a few more years, I kept putting out videos. Hey, we need to focus on the Supreme Grand Council. Hey, we need to focus on the Supreme Grand Council. And I'll stop right there. And I'll read this question that I just got prior to me going live. And this person sent me this question, and I've got this question several times from different people. The question was, why don't you start your own Supreme Grand Council? This person actually suggested some other people, but that's regardless of the point. The question though, why don't you just start your own Supreme Grand Council? I've heard that from at least 10 different people. The answer is that's not That's not the proper and lawful way. That's not how this organization is supposed to be ran. Furthermore, we don't need to, I don't need to start my own, and no one else needs to start their own, because we already have the framework, we already have the protocols and procedures on how we are supposed to operate. We don't need an additional Supreme Grand Council. We just need to correct the Supreme Grand Council that we got. We don't need a new Moorish Science Temple of America, or, this, or I'm going to create a new organization that's a spinoff of Noble Drew Ali's. No, we don't need to keep trying to create other stuff. We need to focus on the one that we already have for us, that was laid out for us by Noble Drew Ali. So to answer the person that asked me that question, I don't need to start. Why I don't start my own is because we already have the framework and the ability for one to exist right now. We already have the organization. We just need to correct ourselves. We need to put the people in place. That's all. So we don't need to start again. I never felt that I needed to start another one. And that will simply cause more confusion, as has been the case with the Moorish Science Temple of America. And that's why you see now, it may be this group of people that says, oh, we respect this person as the leader. And then these group of Moors and Moorish Americans from these temples, they say, oh, well, we don't respect them, so we created our own movement and our own official Moorish Science Temple of America, because those is out of line, and so we only respect this person. Now we're divided. Now we got two different groups, and that's been on and on and on since Noble Drew Ali passed back in 1929. So we need to get away from trying to create our own and just get in line and follow the law and do what we're supposed to do. All right, 1 second. Excuse me. So boom, fast forward up to the present. I said, all right, I'm going to be more proactive in coming up with a solution, getting all of us to figure out how do we get this problem solved so that we can move forward. Because me simply saying, hey, we need to fix the Supreme Grand Council. Hey, we need to focus on the Supreme Grand Council. It wasn't working. People watch the video, they have comments, they say, yeah, we do need to do that, but no action. So I said, okay, well, let me sit down and think. I came up with a plan, and I don't even have a letter, but I came up with a plan. In short, I wrote this letter, sent it out to as many Moorish Science Temple of Americas that I could find, physical letters. Matter of fact, I just opened one. And the letter, and I got these back, just so you know. This one is from Temple 43, Temple 28, Temple 78, Temple 9, Temple 7, Temple 43, and Temple 47. Wichita, Kansas, Los Angeles, Cleveland, Chicago, Baltimore, Glassboro, and Milwaukee. But I sent these letters out to all of the Moorish Science Temple of Americas that I could find physical addresses for, asking them if they would cooperate and work together so that we could solve this issue. You know what I'm saying? And I read this letter before, but in short, a three-step process. This is what I came up and I sent to everybody. All the Grand Sheiks and Grand Sheikesses of heads of temples to begin teaching and informing themselves and all members in the branch temples about the Supreme Grand Council. Make sure everyone in all of our temples is fully aware of the duties and the purpose of the Supreme Grand Council of the Moorish Science Temple of America. So inform everybody. That's number one. Before we can act, before we can do anything, everyone needs to be aware of what's going on. And that was the problem, with this one individual who ended up creating his own organization and is currently trying to mislead Moorish Americans and is endangering Moorish Americans and Moors, often by inferring or implying and sometimes outright stating that he wants to use um, violence and weaponry as a form of getting justice and getting freedom, which is not what this movement is about in any shape, form, or fashion. But with that brother, even him, I spoke about this situation, and he said, "Oh, we just need to create one right now and get it started, and then we'll inform the people later," or something to that effect. And my thing is, everyone needs to know what's going on. Everyone needs to be aware of what's going on so that no one will feel left out. No one will feel like, oh, no one informed our temple. Nobody told us about this was going on. We had no idea about the Supreme Grand Council. We wanted some input. So that's why I said, first and foremost, inform everybody. Make sure everybody in all the temples, the branch temples, all the members, etc., everyone knows what the Supreme Grand Council is, what is its purpose, what does it do. Step 2, take in any questions from any members. All the questions and concerns you got, tell them to your Grand Sheik. That Grand Sheik gets all the questions. Once that Grand Sheik gets all the questions, at the convention where everybody comes together, all the Grand Sheiks from all the temples can bring all the questions so that way everyone in the nation is represented, right? Everyone in the nation, their voices can be heard through the questions and concerns that their Grand Sheik got from them and is on their behalf representing that temple. They come to the convention that we do every year, and at that convention, every single question and concern gets addressed. That was the 1, 2, 3 process, and then we figure out the Supreme Grand Council. We get members. We put actual members on the Supreme Grand Council, and we start to act. This was the idea I put out. Sent this out, sent these letters. All of these came back, return to sender, not deliverable, as addressed, insufficient address, unable to forward. Okay? So I sent these out, and this was March, the beginning of March 5th, right? And I waited. I said, let me give people time. I don't want to rush. I don't want to make people feel like they're rushed to response. So I didn't even check for about 30 days. I didn't even check the post office, nothing. When I went to check back, I didn't see any responses. I said, that's interesting. No worries. But I followed up with all the emails that I had. Sent emails out to all of these same temples, at least for the ones that had emails available. And I did get some interesting responses back. And I wanted to read just a couple real quick, just to update you. And not fully, but just on just so that you can get an understanding of kind of what's going on with the movement. Excuse me. One temple responded saying that we have a SGC. Certain stations need to be filled at present. So this person didn't put a name on who they are. Didn't say whether or not they agreed to informing everybody and getting everybody on the same page, but they did say we have a SGC, certain stations need to be filled at present, which is also saying that currently the Supreme Grand Council doesn't have all of the seats filled. So it's not fully functioning at present, which is violating the laws and the teachings that Noble Drew Ali laid down. This is just the simple facts as they present themselves. Yeah, this one was when I read this response, I said, "Isn't this interesting?" This response came from a temple that said they hadn't received a letter They didn't watch, and also with the email that I sent, I provided them with a video. So if they didn't get the letter by some chance, I provided them a video, which I read the letter live, and I provided them with a link so that they could read the letter for themselves, download it, etc. This person responded saying, "We have not had time to read or watch your video as we are extremely busy working, doing our part in uplifting humanity." You mean to tell me during COVID, when things are shut down, when there ain't nothing really going on, you were so extremely busy that you couldn't read the letter or watch the video? But you were so busy doing the uplifting work though. Family, I was born at night. I just wasn't born last night. You know what I mean? Come on now. Come on, family. We gotta, come on, man. I giggled when I read that. I really did giggle when I read it. I said, come on, man. But wait, there's more. They also said that all members of the Moorish Science Temple of America are provided the opportunity every year to address the Supreme Grand Council during the annual convention. If you have any questions, then you will need to address them during that time period, being that that is the only time they are in session. So just so you understand this, people, this person didn't identify who they are typing, but that's regardless. They are trying to say and trying to get people and myself to believe that the Supreme Grand Council only functions for 1 week during the year, and that you have to go there if you have any questions, and then they will address the questions there. But outside of that week, there's absolutely no way, they cannot do any more, they can't answer any questions, they're not available. Does that make sense? So you mean to tell me that all the temples around this country, if they have any members, if they have any issues that they need to take up with the Supreme Grand Council, put before the Supreme Grand Council, any issues, they have to wait for that 1 week, and that's it? And you mean to tell me that all of the temples can get their issues and their questions addressed during that 1 week? The Supreme Grand Council will be able to handle all of the questions during that 1 week, and that's it? Where did Noble Drew Ali teach that, by the way? Where is that in writing? Did he say that anywhere? No. And I want to also put this on the table just for you to think about. The Supreme Court. I looked that up. Matter of fact, Supreme Court session schedule. I said, well, let's see if the Supreme Court has a schedule. You know what I mean? Maybe they have a schedule. Let's see. What do you know? Supreme Court calendar. And I dropped this in the chat so that you can see it too. So you can have something to compare and contrast. Now with the Supreme Court calendar, they have dates highlighted in red, blue, and green. The dates in red are argument days. The dates in blue are non-argument sessions. And the ones in green, are conference days. And I'm looking at the Supreme Grand Council. They sure look like they're open more than just 1 week out the year. Now, I mean, not the Supreme Council, but the Supreme Court. Now, if the Supreme Court is able to have more than just 1 week, surely, I think the Moorish Science Temple of America can be on par with that. I mean, surely they can have more than just 1 week and 1 month to address the concerns of all the members. Because it doesn't make sense. It's not logical for that to be the case, that they're only available to answer questions in 1 week out of the year for the entire organization and all of the whole nation and all the members. 1 week? Nah, I'm not buying that, man. You can't sell me that one. But what I do appreciate is the response, because it lets me know just how much corruption is within our organization. And let me just read that real quick. If you wasn't sure, corruption, the definition of corruption is dishonest or fraudulent conduct by those in power. That's very key. Dishonest or fraudulent conduct by those in power, typically involving bribery, that money, that moolah. And see, well, where's the money come into play, Rami? Where's the money? Well, if you study about the Supreme Grand Council, you would know that one of the members in that council back in when Noble Drew Ali was alive was a Supreme Grand Business Manager. You will further know, if you do the studies, don't believe me, because I don't want you to believe me. It's not what I feel. It's not about what I think is the actual facts as it is. They also are responsible for all the reports about the different temples, including the taxes, that moolah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. The Supreme Grand Council is directly involved with the money, baby. Yes, yes. So is it starting to become a little more clear why certain individuals at the top don't want to address this issue? Because then the corruption will be revealed. Those dirty Moors that are guilty. When you do an audit, you start seeing the numbers, you start seeing the accounting and the finance. Let me see the documents on this. Let's get an honest Moor to go over all the records. And then you start seeing, oh, it's embezzlement. Oh, yeah. These people, they taking the money, but they not really doing what they supposed to do with it. And so the name of the game has been deflect, hide, try to cover this up, try to ignore it, dismiss it, do whatever you can, but do not address this Supreme Grand Council issue for real. That's the name of the game. And that's also why, if your Grand Sheik isn't addressing, if your Grand Sheik is talking down about the Supreme Grand Council, if your Grand Sheik or your Grand Governor or your Moorish leader, what's the other, Divine Minister, Chairman, whatever title they gave themselves, or whatever title they're using, if they aren't addressing this, Now see, I don't have no problem addressing this. You know why? Because I never took no money from nobody. People ask, where can we donate? I want to support, Rami. You need to start. Nah, because first I need to understand what's going on. Where are we supposed to pay our taxes to? It says right here we supposed to pay the taxes, the dues, the taxes, and we supposed to have a report done every month. We supposed to send it in every month. Who we sending it to? What are they doing with the money? Is there a record? Is there accounting of it? Are they honest? Can we trust them to handle the money for the entire organization? I need to know the answers to these questions. Somebody got to show what's up. You're keeping it real, man. That's why we have the stagnation. That's why when the whole shutdown happened and this crisis and people need stuff, where's Moorish Science Temple of America at? Where's the demonstration of Moorish Americans coming to aid and uplift our people? They're not there because the corruption. But God, Allah is the best of planners. Cause I'm rolling around with my mom and my son today, and I said, she said, man, you want to go check your post office since we over this way? I said, yeah, that's a good idea. Let me go ahead and check it. And what do you know? Some stuff was in there today, man. Somebody sent me this here. Look at this here. This document is old as Yeah, I mean, sixth annual National Convention of the Moorish Science Temple of America, 1933. Oh my goodness. And also, man, praise Allah and praise whoever sent, much love to you, whoever sent this. The Unity Conference Program, May 21st, 1994. Chicago, Illinois. And it came with a little letter, RE, a Unity Conference letter. I'm going to get to this. But before I get to this, I want to read, I just want to highlight just how sick the corruption is within this movement. I got this letter and I don't even want to put the person on blast. I just want to read a couple of the things. This person said, first addresses me, Islam, Mr. Rami Abdullah Salam El. Then a couple paragraphs down says, thus, in European's Black Law Dictionary, there is a legal definition which is called being in a state of voluntary ignorance, as the state of your anonymous scribe has reached us in. Okay. This person who responded and didn't say yes, we'll work with other Moorish Americans to follow Noble Drew Ali's teachings and get the Supreme Grand Council right now. They went on to talk about a whole bunch of blah, 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 blah. Not even going to get into all that. It's addressed to me, Mr. Rami Abdullah Salam El. But then 2 paragraphs later, it says, as the state of your anonymous scribe. Now, if it was anonymous, my name wouldn't have been on it. You wouldn't have known to address this letter to me. I just want y'all to realize this is a 6-page letter. It got a lot of craziness in it. But right off the gate, my mom was reading this letter while I'm driving, and she started laughing. She said, man, who is this person? I need to address them. It's all sorts of spelling there, just nonsense. But even my mom, who is not even, she don't even know all the information about this. Even she could see that this was nonsense. Come on, family. But I wanna highlight something else. Because this was important to me. I'm really doing my best not to, I don't want to put on blast the person that sent this, because it's not about singling out the person. So, but I just want you to highlight they even went so far as taking a screenshot of one of my videos when I was teaching with Taj to put in the letter. So how could it be anonymous? But never mind that. I wanted to highlight this part here. And then we see you will with the major enemy of truth, Mr. Taj. Wow. Guess you thought that you had somehow made it to the top of being a Moor, huh? Boom. What need we say as you are right? You have been in total error and are in willful violation of all that is holy and divine. This person identifies Taj Tariq Bey as a major enemy of truth. This is the kind of corruption and foolishness that is poisoned and that is ingrained and has got itself deep into the crevices of this movement. So much so that this dude would make wild accusations about me without even knowing me at all. Because if you did know me, you would understand very, very clearly that ain't nobody above critique. Taj isn't some holy and just nobody. Nah, man. Everybody is supposed to be held accountable, including Taj. If Taj was right here, I would be talking to Taj. Hey, about the Supreme Grand Council. All the stuff you teaching, I respect the law. But how about let's focus on the Supreme Grand Council? He ain't no different. I don't worship Taj. I don't worship none of these, no Moorish American, no human being. Just to get that straight. Allah, we are supposed to worship one, the Holy One, the Holy One, the top of the top. And it ain't Taj. And it's not the Grand Sheik or the Supreme Grand Sheik that's out there, or no Grand Chairman. None. And it's not Noble Drew Ali. It's not Prophet Muhammad. It's not Jesus or Confucius or Buddha either. We give thanks and praise and worship to the one God. Some people say Allah. Our Creator. Just to keep it nice and, you know what I mean? And just so that you clear. If you watching this, so you're clear. But now let's get to this letter, the Unity Conference letter. Okay? That was sent to me. And pair of stars. How do I contact you? What's up? I'm right here. What's up? Got any questions? But if you don't want to do it publicly or in the chat, iamhhtemple@gmail.com. Again, iamhhtemple@gmail.com. All one word. iamhhtemple@gmail.com. And also, let me just put this out there. At present time, no, I do not give my phone number out. I don't want to talk on the phone with people, especially about the Supreme Grand Council. Why? Aside from the fact that I've dealt with too many Moors, brothers and sisters who talk crazy on the phone. Besides that, when it comes to this kind of work, when it comes to this topic specifically, I much rather talk in person, face to face when I can see somebody, or we can converse, we can exchange ideas and talk via email so that there's very clear what you said, what I said, so that you can't say, oh yeah, I talked to Rami and he said such a nah. You're not gonna do that. Yeah, I talked to Rami. Yeah, I'm cool with him. Yeah, so nah, champ. It ain't going down like that. So if you do feel like you gotta contact me, the email is the nice and easy way. I'm very accessible, or catch me on the live. But let me get to this letter. Unity Conference letter. April 19th. Man, right a couple days, almost 3 days to the date. Praise Allah. Praise Allah. What? Oh, man. Unity Conference. On October 17th, 1928, during the first annual convention of the Moorish Science Temple of America in Chicago, Illinois, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali stated, the Supreme Council will be chosen tomorrow, consisting of 7 men tried and true. He described the Supreme Grand Council as having the power and duty to control and supervise all the affairs of the Moorish Science Temple of America. I just want to reiterate. This letter is from April 19th, 1994. At this time, when this letter was written, I was in elementary school. I had no clue about the Supreme Grand Council, Noble Drew Ali. Man, I was riding bikes, probably playing Pokemon, playing basketball. Yeah, I mean. The Supreme Grand Council will be chosen tomorrow, consisting of 7 men tried and true. He described the Supreme Grand Council as having the power and duty to control and supervise all the affairs of the Moorish Science Temple of America, and to be the sole judge of what constitutes conduct injurious to the order of peace, interest, or welfare of the organization, or at variance with its constitution and bylaws. In a Moorish guide article entitled Prophet Announces His Authority and Power, he proclaimed the following: all authority and power of the Moorish Science Temple of America is vested in the Prophet Noble Drew Ali and those whom he appoints to act as in the supreme body. It is evident by the above statements that the Prophet intended that the executive, legislative, and judicial authority of the Moorish Science Temple of America be vested in the Supreme Grand Council to ensure the continued success and unity of the movement after his departure. The executive, legislative, and judicial authority of the Moorish Science Temple of America is vested in the Supreme Grand Council. Why? To ensure the continued success and unity of the movement after his departure. Does the Moorish Science Temple of America currently have a lot of success that we could talk about, that we can show and demonstrate to the world? No. Does the Moorish Science Temple of America have unity? Currently, does the Moorish Science Temple of America, does this movement have unity? In 2021, no. Why? We lack the Supreme Grand Council. It's simple, man. But let me continue reading the letter. As the Prophet was divinely prepared and guided by Allah in founding this organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America, I do not believe that he would have carefully put together the uniting of the Moorish Science Temple of America over a period of 16 years, 1913 to 1928, only to have that unity fall apart after his passing from among us. I believe he knew that we will become disoriented and fragmented after his passing. But if we remain faithful and maintained his records, we would discover just what he did for us in that convention of 1928. If we remain faithful and maintained his records, where are those records, people? Where are the records? Don't talk to me, show and prove. Where's the documentation? Come on now. Following a parade held during the 1928 convention, the Prophet stated, "I have done more than you think. I am not asleep. It will take you Moors a long time to find out what I did today." I believe that after a long period of soul searching as an organization, we are about to bring ourselves back to unity under the laws of the Prophet. On May 29, 1993, here in Chicago, we held a unity meeting at Malcolm X College. Temple heads from Chicago and other cities were present during that session, and we discussed, number one, how the Prophet structured the movement. Number two, the origin of the first Supreme Grand Council. And number three, what we must do to bring ourselves back into unity. In 1993, I wrote to many of you announcing that an acting Supreme Grand Council had been appointed here in Chicago, and that this acting council would remain in place until the 1994 National Convention. After input from the various temple heads, the permanent Supreme Grand Council will be appointed in September of 1994. I also announced that the second unity meeting was planned for the spring of 1994. That meeting is now scheduled as follows: Saturday, May 21st, 1994, University of Illinois, Chicago Center, 750 South Halsted. One time for South Halsted. Street Room 605, Chicago, Illinois, times 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. The agenda will be how the Prophet structured the movement. 2, what the term grand body means as used in Act 1 of the Divine Constitution and bylaws. And number 3, open discussion on unity. There go that unity again. Come on now. A mid-morning buffet breakfast lunch is planned for all temple heads at a local restaurant. We will introduce ourselves and participate in a roundtable discussion of issues concerning the Moorish nation. Following breakfast, we will proceed to the lecture hall for the general conference. Anyone from out of town requiring overnight accommodations, please let me know as soon as possible. We will contact an area hotel and attempt to reserve rooms at a reasonable weekend rate. We here in Mecca, Chicago, look forward to meeting and greeting each of you at this important Unity Conference. For more information, you may contact me at Love, Truth, Peace, Freedom, and Justice, Brother P. Davis Ill, Grand Sheik and Chairman of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Temple Number 1. P.S. Any donations to help offset the cost of this event will be mostly appreciated. Much love and much respect to Brother P. Davis Ill. 1994 Unity Conference. They was talking about the Supreme Grand Council back then. 1994 was trying to get it together, but what happened? What's happened since then? Where are the records in 95, 96, 98, 99 in the 2000s? For the 99 in the 2000s. Oh, and this is also the other thing I want to read real quick. This is like a summary of the outline, a program outline. Opening prayer, reading of law, Sister P. Newnail. Welcoming address, introduction of SGS, Supreme Grand Sheik, Brother E. Braswell Bay. Introduction of representatives from various temples, P. Davis Hill. Address, P. Davis Hill. Recess, general discussion on unity. Closing remarks and prayer. Fellowship. And then on here it says contents, page 1. Copy of article from Moorish Guide regarding per capita tax. Copy of article from Moorish Guide regarding per capita tax approval by the Supreme Grand Council. We talking about that money. We talking about that money, man. That taxes, where that money going? Who's in charge of it? Who got the records? You can't play around with this. You can't play around with this movement. You think you're going to play around with this movement? This was set up by a prophet now. Do you understand that? Not just somebody that sound cool. Not just somebody that, oh man, it's kind of inspired. No. A universal prophet. And he came specifically for us. So you should know, especially if you're up in this movement, this ain't nothing to play with. Because you will get rewarded for your unjust deeds. Please know that. And this applies to whoever. If the shoe fits, please put that thing on. If the fez fits, please put that thing on. You know what I mean? And I was telling my mom, I said, you know, some of these Moors, they don't like me because what I'm doing is forcing people to be held accountable. And the ones that have been dirty and the ones that have been dirty and the ones that have been corrupt, they're going to get called out. People going to see, oh man, they've been ahead of this temple and they've been saying that this, that, and the third for 20 years. And they ain't been taking care of their responsibilities. But see, the flip side is, if you don't address this, if you try to act like, oh, I don't know nothing about, I'm going to just act like Rami don't even exist. I don't even see these. Then you're going to look super guilty later on. And you're going to look negligent. And you just was, what was you doing? Where was you at? Don't be like that. Don't be cowardly. If you can't take the responsibility, if you can't handle the responsibility that comes with being a leader in this movement, then please remove yourself. Sit in the back, let someone else lead, let someone else teach. If you can't stand on the principles, if you ain't got the heart to stand on the principles, please move out the way and let someone who does have the heart sit in that seat and lead the way. And that goes to whoever it goes to. And see, I'm going to close with this. Okay. Respect. Peace, peace, Philip Jones. Anya Bay is interesting to see that some Moors boast so much about their knowledge to formulate affidavits so well and clean cut in response to, for example, so called court venue matters. I'm glad you pointed that out. What really irritates me about this particular issue is that this is dealing with law. This specific issue, the Supreme Grand Council, as it says in the Unity Conference letter. It is evidenced by the above statements that the Prophet intended the executive, legislative, and judicial authority of the Moorish Science Temple of America to be vested in the Supreme Grand Council. That's talking about government, law, legislative, judicial, executive branch. That's government. So all these Moors that you see online talking about, oh yeah, I know what to do, and this is what you got to do, and you can go in court, and you can do this with this law, and this code, and this, and that, and the third. They want to talk about everything else. They is extremely knowledgeable. They got hours and hours and hours of time to devote to everything else. But when it comes to the Supreme Grand Council, they silent as a mouse. Silent as a church mouse. Come on, man. It's hypocritical. It's bogus, man. And for me, I'm at a place and I'm in a space where, and my daughter even pointed this out to me. She said, man, Dad, if I could tell you, if it's one thing that I would say that you always teaching us is that you have to, you got to lead by example. You got to say what you mean and mean what you say. You got to walk. And I'm like, damn, you're right. But this is really what I'm teaching my children. You can't just talk the talk. You got to walk the walk. Say what you mean and mean what you say. If you're really about uplifting the people, then really be about that. If you really are about this Moorish divine and national movement, then show that through the actions. Don't just talk it. I done heard and I done seen way too many people always talking. Sound good. Yeah, that sound good. But what about this though? Not what you believe, not what sound good. Not telling people, oh yeah, you just need to do this in the court and because of this and because of that. Man, I hear all of that. We ain't focused on that right now. Let's focus on the Supreme Grand Council, which is responsible. It has the duty to control and supervise all the affairs of this organization. Why don't they want to address that? They scared. They corrupt. Hypocrites. Fugazi. They bogus. They just want attention. They want money. They exploiting you for your funds. Oh yeah, just buy this book and just pay these dues to our temple. Yeah, please. And we'll set you up with this, and then at some point we're gonna get you. You're not finna turn this movement into some new church thing. That's not what this is. Does anyone have any questions? You see people, you see Moors, not even people, you see Moors, Moorish Americans just claiming they follow the teachings of Noble Drew Ali. But they're not teaching this though. Hypocritical. They bogus. You see Moors saying, oh, what you gonna do about the people? We need to defend the people. Don't you see what's happening with the police? Yeah, but what about this though? How about let's start right here? Get our organization together so we know what we can do, so we know how we can move. But they don't want to do that. And that's why I keep reiterating this over and over and over again. And I don't want you just to believe me. I want you to ask the so-called leader, whoever your teacher is, whoever your grand sheik is. Challenge them. And if they come off to you as, how dare you question me? You don't know anything. That's not a true leader. Nah, because a true leader is a servant. True leaders are serving the people. True kings are serving the people. Understand that. They not above, and nobody is above. Nobody is above critique. Nobody is. You can't talk to me. Nah, man, that's not how it go. If you incorrect, you incorrect. Excuse me. A wise man said this quote here. Uh, well, if it'll load up. I'm for truth no matter who tells it. I'm for truth no matter who tells it. I'm for justice no matter who it is for or against. You know who that is? El Haj Malik El Shabazz, also known as Malcolm X. I don't see any other questions, and I'm here for the questions. What's up? Is anything that I've said not made sense? The people that's always talking, oh, Rami don't know what he talking about. Where they at now with the questions? It's quiet. And it's a reason for that. I want you to, as you watching this, I want you to really think and just critically think and pay attention. Kick back and uh, but yeah, just kick back and peep what's going on. Ask a question. I see, hey man, I see this Rami dude. He keep talking about the Supreme Court Council. He got letters from '94 and this document and that document. How come you just not teaching about this? How come we just don't get this issue handled? Grand Sheik such and such and such and such, or Grand Governor such and such and such. Whoever it is, whoever you look up to, whoever you studying from, cool. Ask them and see what their response is. If they try to dismiss it, if they try to deflect, if they say it's not important, well, you say, hey, well, according to Noble Drew Ali, it says the Supreme Grand Council has the power and duty to control and supervise all the affairs. Why don't you look up what affair means in law? You are more, right? We know the law, right? We go to the dictionary, right? Well, ask them. Let them show you. And when you start to see when that them red flags and them warning signs start to go off, like, that's not adding up. What he's saying is not adding up. When that starts happening, when you ask about the Supreme Grand Council, don't dismiss it. Don't think, nah, I'm just tripping. No, you're not tripping. There is indeed corruption within our movement. Yes, there is indeed Moors that would say Islam and, the 5 principles, and I honor Noble Drew Ali. They'll say Islam isn't, do all of that. And they bogus. Understand that. In the movie Black Messiah, the dude that was a part of the security team was bogus. My man Jesus, way back in the day, he had a dude with him. Judas, it was bogus. You go on, it's people that look just like us in this movement. Yes, I'm not talking about in the past, I'm talking about today, 2021. People in this movement, they got the fairs and they got a Moorish name and they post everything on their social medias and Moorish this, and you should know the law and praise Noble Drew Ali and Islam that. Yeah. They look the part. Oh, they do it so well. I'm telling you. They do it so well that you don't even peep game. But they fraudulent. But don't believe me. I don't want you to believe me. This ain't about you believing me. You ain't got to believe Rami. Stick to the facts. Stick to the Supreme Grand Council. Hold them accountable. That's it. That's it and that's all, man. You'll see it for yourself. Pull this up. I want to play this again because it's so powerful, man. I played this for my mom and she was cracking up. She was like, yeah, this is exactly. Listen to the brother, P. Davis Hill, live.
It's one way and I say it's another way. And the Supreme Grand Council is in place.
Listen.
Of the law. You say it's one way and I say it's another way. And the Supreme Grand Council is in place. And you and I say, well, since you and I can't reach a decision on that, then let's take this matter to the Supreme Grand Council and see what they say. We take the matter to the Supreme Grand Council. They issue their ruling, their opinion, and they present it, and it's binding on both parts because we accept the authority, therefore the authority of the Supreme Council.
We accept the authority of the Supreme Grand Council. Let me just highlight what P. Davis Hill is saying before I hit play again. He said, if you got an issue and I got an issue, right? If you got an issue and I got an issue and we can't come to an understanding, well, instead of just, I'm going to do my thing and you can do your thing and we divide it and we got two people doing their own thing, nah. If the issue is that serious, we can't come to an understanding, let's put it forth to the Supreme Grand Council. Why? Because they got the authority, the sole judge of what constitutes conduct injurious to the order, peace, interests, or welfare of the organization. They are the ones to make that judgment. That's what the structure, the formation of it's all laid out. It's divine, man. And that way it's binding on both parties. So we put it before the Supreme Grand Council, and what their ruling is, we accept because that's government. That's how it works. Let me just continue with what he said, because the last little part, man, is so powerful. I got to let you hear it.
And even if that ruling supports my position or not, you see, I'm bound by it. And that prevents you and I from pulling apart. Well, that's what we believe is going to bring unity throughout the movement and preserve unity once we have achieved it. That's what I think is most important at this time.
And that's what he thinks is most important at this time. P. Davis Hill, the Grand Sheik and chairman of the Moorish Science Temple of America at that time. This was before I was even family. You see how old the clip is. It's binding on both parties. So even if it goes against what I say. So if it's an issue and I say, nah, I want to take it to, and Rami takes it to Supreme Grand Council and they say, nah, you're wrong, Rami. I'll be like, hey, all right. That's the ruling. That's what it is. Respect. That's how we govern ourselves. That's how we supposed to operate. Not, well, I don't care what Rami says. I don't care what the Supreme Grand Council says. I'm going to do what I want to do. Because Noble Drew Ali said, save yourself, so I'm going to do whatever I want to do to save myself. Nah, it don't work like that, family. It don't. That's not government. That's not really going by the law. That's not following the law. And he said this is what's going to bring unity and preserve the unity within the movement. Do we have unity in the movement right now? Come on now, do we? No. Why not? Because we don't have a Supreme Grand Council. If we have Supreme Grand Council, we'll have that unity. We don't have a Supreme Grand Council, no unity. Look at that. Look at that. Nah, nah, nah. I'm not gonna let you get away with that, Kyrie Lloyd L. Yes, there is unity, but not on a large scale. No, sir. It don't work like that. It, do we have unity or do we not have unity? We do not have unity. You know why? Let me tell you why. Let me show you why. Not just tell you. If you go out there to the Moorish world and you start asking people who is the head of the Moorish movement right now, will there be one answer? No. If you go out and you ask people how do we proclaim our nationality, will there be one answer? No. That's not unity, family. Individual is not unity amongst the organization. You can say you have unity with people. That's cool for you. I'm talking about our organization, the Moorish Science Temple of America. Do we have unity? We do not. We have to be honest with ourselves. Ah, man, I didn't see these questions. Philip Jones, how would Jesus handle this situation? I don't know. Good question, Philip Jones. I'm not sure. Um, Orthodox Moor, Jesus paid the temple tax, then went in that joint flipping tables, etc., when he saw that they were cheating the poor in the temple. Got a good point. The brother got a point. Man, Jesus came up in there like, hold on, man, what y'all doing? Y'all corrupted up in here, man. Get all of this out of here. Get out of here. And then nobody do nothing on him either. Peep that? You know what I mean? It was hot. They was mad at my boy Jesus, but they ain't rush up on him though. I'm joking, but I'm a little bit serious. Um, mm, mm. One thing I do think is Jesus would not be afraid to identify the people that are corrupt. I do think about that. Might sound a little too violent for me. I agree. But that's not violence really and truly because it's not towards a person. Jesus didn't grab a gun, did he? Did you see in the Bible Jesus say, hey man, we need to go get a gun? Nah, we need to get some rocks. We need to threaten people. He didn't do that, did he? Something to think about. Something to think about in terms of violence. It ain't the answer. It's not the way. Violence begets more violence. The Orthodox Moor, they have to render a judgment based upon the law the prophet brought. That is why some Moors don't want to submit to what Allah brought through the prophet. Come on now. See, with that Supreme Grand Council in place, now you got to follow the law. You got to follow the law. Right now, you ain't really got, because who gonna get called on it? Who can you go to and say, hey man, they're injuring us? They're doing things that's against the welfare of this organization, against the interest and against the peace of this organization. We have nowhere to go. And that's exactly what those who are corrupt want. Because if they can't be held responsible, they get to do whatever they want. You think about that? Think about that for a second. At present time, with no Supreme Grand Council, we cannot go anywhere to get remedy. We cannot go anywhere within for our organization and get justice. Can't run to the U.S. courts. What that look like? That's kind of foolish. We supposed to run. We run into the Nation of Islam. Nah, come on, man. We got to clean up ourselves. Mm, we have to um put the circles around our oh man. Oh man, I used to have it off the top. Put the circles around our desires. There it is. Is that it right there? But you know what I'm saying. It's up in here somewhere. uh, a passion. Yeah, you know. Yeah. And Kyrie Lloyd L, you're missing the point, Fanny. You're missing the point. You're missing the point there. And see, and let me ask you a question, Kyrie Lloyd L. You say, I unite with Moors in my territory. Okay. In terms of grand sheiks, the people in the temple, have you been challenging them? Have you been asking them to address the Supreme Grand Council? Have they been addressing the Supreme Grand Council? Are they challenging other members to say, hey, we need to get this right? We need to find a solution and make sure everyone is clear on this. We need to unite with all the Moors around the country on this issue and get this cleared away so we can have some understanding, some clarity. Are you really about unity, or are you just talking the talk? Come on now. What we talking about now? What we talking about for real? Many of the people, I'm not blind. I see people trying to criticize. Well, we ain't never seen Rami in court trying to save any Moors, and we ain't seen Rami out there doing the right to travel. Listen, man, this movement isn't about trying to get a win in court. That's not what this is about. It's not trying to show, oh, I can get my taxes. I don't have to pay sales tax when I go in this store. Look at my receipt. That's not what this movement is about. And if you think it is, you are sorely mistaken. I'm about addressing this issue because this is what Noble Drew Ali laid down for us. And I see clearly that until we address this issue, we will remain stagnant, lost, confused, and corrupt. This movement is filled with corrupt Moors. This is what I've seen and I've experienced. It's unfortunate. It's sad. It can be depressing. It's embarrassing. I'm ashamed of it. But it's not gonna go away till we clean it up. We can't turn a blind eye and say, oh yeah, it's some corrupt people in the temple. We just gotta do our stuff over there now. That's cowardly. My parents didn't raise a coward. Circles around here. A national and divine movement. National and divine movement. If people just want to make it seem like, oh, you just need to praise Allah and read your Quran, Circle 7, and just have faith and Allah will guide us through. Nah, family. That's not what this is. National, and there is a spiritual side. There is a divine side. Yes, we need to stay up in this book here. We need this. But it's a national side too. It's a real, practical, everyday, tangible, here on earth side of this movement as well. And don't let anybody try to game you up and let you think this is just some, spiritual, fifth dimension, it's all in your mind and this is not real, so you don't need to get caught up in this life. Nah, man. We're not going for that. You're not finna play us. I'm not finna allow people to get played. I'm gonna do my best to make sure I let people know this is what it's about. And you see, I've been here. Look it up. Look up Supreme Grand Council. Just do the research. See who's teaching about it. See who's willing to address this issue and see who's not. How you gonna win when you're not right with this? Sorry about that, y'all. I had too many alarms going on. But how you gonna win when you're not right within? One time for Philip Jones, we gotta clean up our temple within. We do. And real talk, first, in my opinion, it also starts with us as individuals within ourselves, purifying ourselves, asking yourself, what are you really in this for? Are you really in this to uplift humanity, all of humanity? Because when you really think about it, you understand the true responsibility that we have as Moorish Americans. You got to look way past just so-called black people. We got to help get the world back on track. You understand? Not just the city, the world, Craig. I'm talking about every country on this globe. We need to be in every country on this earth, in every continent, building and helping to uplift fallen humanity. And we too busy playing games here amongst ourselves. We can't even get to all the billions of people that need us around the world. Yeah, it's really that deep. But if we can't even get ourselves right within our organization, we're not gonna be able to help nobody else. All right, man. Mm, Chapter 47. Let me get up out of here. Excuse me. These are holy and divine laws. These holy and divine laws are from the Prophet, Noble Drew Ali, the founder of the Uniting of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Or here it says the Moorish Holy Temple of Science of America. You just These laws are to be strictly preserved by the members of all the temples. These laws are to be strictly preserved, strictly, by the members of all the temples of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, Moorish Science Temple of America, that they will learn to open their meetings and guide it according to the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. We got to quit playing. We got to quit playing, man. Noble Drew Ali was a real deal prophet. Any last questions before I get out of here? I appreciate y'all tapping in, especially if you're on the East Coast. I know it's kind of late that side. In summary, again, well, I guess I didn't say next steps move. Oh, here goes another answer that I got from one of the emails to the Moorish Science Temples that I sent out in response to will you work with us to get to clarify the Supreme Grand Council situation. This one person said, Islam, dear brother, all that I can share with you is that when you enter third heaven, your questions will be answered. Really? Family, really? We gotta cut it out, man. We gotta stop trying to play I'm the Moorish. Yeah, I mean, you just need to don't hit me with all that talk. You're not gonna get me with the razzmatazz, jazzy, nice spiritual talk. Stop trying to play people with that. Stop trying to hit us with the Moorish finesse. Stop trying to hit us with the Moorish finesse, baby. Come on, baby. I'm tired of the Moorish finesse out here. What? Oh my goodness, man. But jokes aside though, please stop. especially if you're in a leadership position, if you call yourself a grand sheik, if you don't have the heart, if you can't, if you don't have the integrity to follow the laws and the guidance of Noble Drew Ali, don't call yourself a grand sheik. Don't claim to be a Moorish teacher. Move out the way and say, you know what? I'm not the person for this. You should go study with that person. Be quiet, sit back, and let someone else lead the way. Because you don't know. If you don't got directions and somebody come ask you, which way do I go to get to such and such, you don't just get to, well, my spiritual realm tells me that when you enter the third heaven, if you just close your eyes and you go down 5 blocks, you will figure out the path, my brother. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Just say, you know what? I don't know. I don't know, man. I ain't got the answer that way. I'm sorry. Man. But moving forward, though, just to close it up, what I will be doing is, well, actually, I don't know quite yet. I don't know just yet. I have to read this information over. They also sent me this here, really interesting, and then this piece here, interesting as well. So I want to do some more studying and thinking about how best to move forward. I do know though, if there is a convention this year, a physical convention in Chicago, oh, I will be there, and I will be going live. Oh yes, so you could put that in your bank. You could just mark the counter, boop, yeah, and I will be asking the questions, and then you'll see live in the flesh, who is willing to work together, who is really about unity, who is really about Noble Drew Ali's teaching, and who's corrupt, who's trying to turn this movement into some church club thing. You'll see for yourself. That's the one thing I. I don't think you're wrong though. You ain't been in third heaven. Word. That's funny, yo. That's a good one. The Moorish movement brings about a higher standard of self-knowledge and inspired and informed courage among the people to question areas of government, corporations, and institutions. Eugenius Bay. I dig that. I dig that. I dig that. And I would say, to add on, also, or in addition to just questioning those areas, challenging the people that are in position to do their job. Oh my goodness. To take responsibility for their role. Oh my goodness. Woo! To be held accountable. Oh, they do not like that word, Rami. They don't like that one. That accountability, but they don't like that at all. I don't like that. Let's drop a dime on that. Okay, I'm messing around now. Yeah, man, that about sums it up. Again, this ain't my Supreme Grand Council, but I humbly urge you, if you've been watching this, you got through watching this, take the things that I've said and challenge whoever. I don't care who your Moorish teacher is, whoever they are, wherever they are. Up top, South America, the tippy top of North America, if they over in Morocco in the east right now, if they in Saudi Arabia, assalamu alaikum, challenge them too. East Africa, West Africa, hey man, I don't care where these teachers are. Chicago, if they in Mecca, them too. Whoever your teacher is, whoever that official person is, ask them, hey, can we get some clarity on this Moorish, this Supreme Grand Council? Cause I've been hearing some things, and I read what Noble Drew Ali taught, and we not doing that. So what's up? And then listen very carefully. That's the other part. Ask the question and then listen to the response. You gotta listen close, because some of these people wearing the fez, ooh, they're slick with the words. They slick with the words now. Some of these people, are the slickest. And they will weasel their way up out of that and try to turn it around back on you. Don't let them get out of that, though. You hold them to that question and get a good answer. And if they aren't willing to address this issue, understand that they are corrupt. Understand that. For what reason? They doing it for money. They got some hidden political agenda. They working with some people. I don't know. Quite frankly, I don't really care. They gonna get what they deserve. But just understand that's what's going on. Man, feel good. Thank you for listening. Any last questions before I get up out of here? Anybody at all? Supreme Grand Council, anything otherwise, I'm right here. No? I don't see nothing. All right. Give it a second, man. Give it a second. You know what? Close out with a song. Let's play a little jammy jam on the way out, man. Let's see if I got a song I can play for you. You know what I mean? I don't see no questions. Oh, come on, Mr. Commercial. We don't need all that. We don't need all that. All right. Here we go.
It's so funny being back on this planet, man.
Yeah, Jonathan Scott, you gotta rewind that thing, because it's an important one. It's important. Please listen. Coming back from Atlantis. Coming back from Atlantis. I'm not from here. I am from the stars on the top of Boulevard. Oh, no. I was born on Earth, but I'm not from here. I am from the stars on the top of Boulevard. Oh, no. Hey. I am from the sky, from the most. We was one with our creator, and then we fell. Oh my God, oh my God. Oh yes, we fell. Listen up. I'm fasting. We can make our heaven, you know why? We made our hell. Just look around, and can't you tell? Okay, be careful what you think, and be careful how you move, and be careful what you say, you know why? These words are spells. They cast the spells. We listen well. We are not the body, and we are not the flesh. This life after death, and this life right is just a test. To reconnect, the holy breath. I say, I'm not from here. I am from the stars, I'm the top of Boulevard. Oh no. I keep telling them. I am from the earth, but I'm not from here. Hey, I am from the stars, I'm the top of Boulevard. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I am from the sky, the sun of Most High. The sun of Most High, oh my God. Praise Allah. body, we are not the flesh. It's life at the death. This life right here is just a test. Oh, yes, I'm best. I love this song, man. Holy Breath. And just so you know, the reason why I called it Holy Breath, and if you don't, I put some little jewels in there, but I'm gonna just give you this one. Teach them that Allah and man are one, but through carnal thoughts and words and deeds, man tore himself away from Allah and debased himself. Teach that the holy breath would make them one again, restoring harmony and peace. That naught can make them one but love. Oh my goodness, we're gonna close on that, man. We're gonna close on that, man. Cause you know, more than anything, whatever we doing in this movement, got to have that love in it. If you ain't got the love in it, it ain't gonna work, family. It ain't gonna work. Love instead of hate now. Love instead of get that hate about your heart. Yeah, you. I can sense a little hate in your heart. You're mad at me. You're angry around me because you keep bringing up the Supreme Grand Council. It's cool. I still love you. But let's get right, though. That's all I'm saying. Much love. Much love. Keep shining. Study Noble Drew Ali's teachings. Study the laws. Study the guidance. And above all, man, love instead of hate. Peace.